Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to Step Through the Ropes, Volume 30. Yep, this is the 30th one. Now, throughout the years of pro wrestling, there have been many failed babyface runs by people who were such good heels throughout their careers. Case in point, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, who passed away back in 2021. He was entered the WWF in late 1983, early 1984, managed by Roddy Piper. Now, Orndorff and Piper teamed up in the main event of the very first WrestleMania, losing to Hulk Hogan and Mr. T when Orndorff was accidentally struck by Cowboy Bob Orton's cast. Now, after that very show, Orndorff had become babyface, firing Bobby the Brain Heenan as his manager for the first time. And he basically spent most of 1985 feuding with Piper and doing tag matches against Piper and Orton with numerous, tag team partners, namely Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, and Bruno Sammartino. In 1986 arrived, and in the early part, Orndorff wasn't doing too much, and then WrestleMania 2 arrived, and he opens the show against Magnificent Morocco. Now, Orndorff goes from main eventing the very first WrestleMania, and then a year later, he opens up the show. If that's not a step down, I don't know what is. That summer, Orndorff had gone heel again, turning on Hulk Hogan after a tag match against King Kong Bundy and Big John Studd, and I'm sure there was a money-making feud with he and Hogan throughout the rest of '86 and into 1987. Well, I also mentioned Magnificent Morocco, who had been a heel a number of years back when he was working for Vince McMahon Sr., who was in charge of the company at the time. And Morocco was managed by Captain Lou Albano. Morocco was two-time Intercontinental Champion, numerous chances to win the world title from Bob Backlund, but failed. Had world title opportunity against Hulk Hogan while being managed by Mr. Fuji. Morocco spent 1985 feuding with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Then, in 1986, Morocco started teaming with Bob Orton, and they were mocking Roddy Piper by wearing kilts and entering the ring to Piper's music. Morocco and Orton broke up as a team after losing many matches in 1987. Morocco defeated Orton one-on-one on Superstars of Wrestling, and Morocco solidified his face status as he saved superstar Billy Graham, who passed away earlier this year, from an attack by the one-man gang and the Natural Butch Reed. And Morocco basically took over that program, working with Reed and the one-man gang with Graham as his manager. In 1988, Morocco was in the very first Royal Rumble event. He was one of the last 4 or 5 men in the match. At WrestleMania 4, he was in the World Title Tournament as Morocco, in the first round, defeated Dino Bravo by disqualification, only to lose to Ted DiBiase in the quarterfinals. Morocco lost to DiBiase again on Saturday night's main event. And then Morocco entered a feud with Greg the Hammer Valentine after Valentine attacked Graham and put him in the figure 4 leg lock. And Morocco spent the summer of '88 feuding with Valentine. And Morocco was initially going to be on the Ultimate Warrior Brutus Beefcake team at Survivor Series 1988. But unfortunately, Morocco, I don't know if he was fired or he ended up quitting. So Morocco babyface run from '87 to '88 was pretty much a fail. Now, I mentioned Greg the Hammer Valentine. He had been a heel for so many years, and by the end of 1990, he had gone face after being hit in the head accidentally by Jimmy Hart. Valentine, I understand, didn't like the idea of dyeing his hair black and being one half of Rhythm and Blues with the Honky Tonk Man. They had a tag team title opportunity against the Hart Foundation on an episode of Superstars of Wrestling, but did not win the belts. Valentine had gone face, and he was supposed to work with Honky Tonk Man, but Honky Tonk left by the 1991 Royal Rumble, So Valentine was working with Dino Bravo. WrestleMania 7, Valentine's beaten by Earthquake. SummerSlam 91, Greg loses to the IRS. And Valentine was also losing to other heels, namely The Undertaker, lost The Undertaker. Who else did he lose to at that time? But Valentine was basically putting people over. And in 1992, Valentine ultimately left the WWF and went off to WCW. So that was another failed babyface run. Another failed babyface run. The Ugandan headhunter Kamala had turned face in late 92, early 93, thanks to Reverend Slick, who didn't like the way Kamala's treatment courtesy of Harvey Whippleman and Kim Chi was going. Kamala eventually had seen the light and he attacked Kim Chi right after Kim Chi took Reverend Slick down. Kamala was doing matches against Kim Chi, and Kamala was supposed to have a match with Bam Bam Bigelow at WrestleMania 9, but the match was canceled due to time restraints. Kamala ended up losing to Mr. Hughes in a King of the Ring qualifying match. One of the early Monday Night Raws, Kamala was defeated by Yokozuna, and Kamala eventually left the WWF that same year of 1993, so that another failed babyface run. Now here's a babyface run that really, I think, could have been something. Adam Bomb debuted in 1993 under the tutelage of Johnny Polo, who later became Raven. Months later, Bomb was then managed by Harvey Whippleman, and I don't think they did too much with him in 1993, but in 94, Bomb was set to face Earthquake at WrestleMania 10, and unfortunately, Earthquake defeated Adam Bomb in about 30-something seconds, so basically, I know in wrestling they call it a squash, but I kind of used to refer to wrestlers losing so quickly, I used to refer it as murder and a half. So, like I said, Bomb was beaten by Earthquake in like 30-something seconds WrestleMania 10. They had a rematch on Raw. Quake won again. Bomb eventually turned face after accidentally having Green Mist spit in his face by Whippleman's other charge, Quang, who later became Savio Vega. Bomb had gone babyface. He was like doing house show matches with Quang. Started working with Bam Bam Bigelow in the fall of 94. Unfortunately, 1995 came around and Bomb was beaten by the likes of Shawn Michaels, lost the King of the Ring qualifying match to the eventual winner, Mabel. Who else I can think of? Adam Bomb was beaten also by... Can't remember who else, but you know, that really could have been something. Adam Bomb eventually left. Oh, he was actually working with Henry Godwinn before leaving the company, and I was kind of bummed out that didn't get a proper ending, because they were supposed to wrestle on Superstars. The match never got underway, and Henry took his slop bucket and poured the slop all over Adam Bomb, and Bomb ran backstage trying to find Godwinn. So I was bummed out that didn't get a proper ending. Because like a month or so later, they actually turned Godwinn babyface. So like I said, folks, I'm sure there's plenty of more failed babyface runs everybody can think of. But let me know what you guys think as well about not only the guys I mentioned, but other failed babyface runs throughout the years by guys that were, well, men and women who were wrestled as heels for so many years, and then they went babyface, and their runs as babyface were not so great. And there'll definitely be more step to the ropes subjects to come. Can't believe I made number 30 already.